Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranams.
Dandavat. Jai Radha Madhava. Hare Krishna. Dandavat. Hare Krishna. Jai Radha Madhava. Kunja Bihari. Gopitana Vallabha. Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. So we are Sarvata Asmade Guru Padma, collaborated with Guru Shishya Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Kredi Swami Shishya Bhaktivedanta Dandi Maharaj, समस्त वैष्णव के चरणों में था कि दंडवत प्रणाम अर्पण करते हैं. So we are discussing Madhurya kadambini and what page we are in now, I think. So we'll discuss again Madhurya kadambini today. So now we are coming to Pramanas. We'll discuss page number 30. I think we are a little past that. So we'll text number 3, page number 27. Shri Bhagavan, the intrinsic form of rasa, is the shelter given of Brahma, and it descends of his own accord. Now here, page number 27, text 3, the Shri Bhagavan is the intrinsic form of rasa. Raso Vaisaha. Bhagavan is full of rasa, rasa swarupa, and it's a shelter of even Brahma. So this is, here it is very clearly, this refers to the verse of Bhagavad Gita. That Bhagavad Gita says, Brahmano hi pratishtaham amritasya vayasya shashvatasya dharmasya sukha ekantikasya. So what is Brahma? Brahma Jyoti is actually the bodily effulgence of Sri Krishna. So Bhagavan is the shelter of even Brahma. But this Brahma Jyoti is everywhere. You can meditate on Brahma Jyoti, the light, bright light. Like many people do, they meditate only on the light emanating from Krishna's body. सदा सर्वत्रास्ते ननुगुण माध्यम तो पदम तथा पिकम स्तोकम नहीं होतरो पत्र विनत क्षणम जिह्वाग्रस्तम तो भगवान नाम निखिलम सौलम संसारम कशति कत्रत सेव्य मनैव. That although Brahma has not decreased my miseries, it has not stopped my transmigration. It has in fact not helped me even a bit. But if I remember the name of Krishna, somehow or other, I chant Hare Krishna, Govinda, Gopal, Madhav, Murari, Hari, any name of Krishna, then this repetition of birth and death, this tree of transmigration is uprooted. So, the meditation on Brahma Jyoti is not as effective as chanting the holy name of Krishna. And he descends on his own accord. Bhagavan descends on his own accord. One time, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada was invited to install the deities, I think in Assam or some state. So he told Srila Bhakti Rakshak Maharaj that you please finish the formalities of the deity installation and then I will do the final job of installing the deity. But you make the ground ready there. Apparently everything should be ready. I will simply come and I will install the deities. So, Srila Bhaktivinoda Maharaj, he forgot to chant the mantra to invite the deities. Prabhupada came and he just offered the garland to the deities and that's it. And then Prabhupada said in the lecture that this Bhagwan here in this temple was not invited by anyone. He came on his own accord. Srila Bhaktivinoda Maharaj felt, great pain in the heart. I forgot the mantra to chant. I even forgot to invite the Bhagwan. There is some mantra to be chanted when you install the deities. But Danti Maharaj may know that. I forgot to chant that mantra. Alas, alas. And Prabhupada is saying that Bhagwan came on his own accord. He was not even invited. He just came on his own. Then he went to Mayapur. Then Prabhupada also again in the class said the same thing. We went to Assam to install deities. No one invited the deities. Deities came on their own accord. Then Sridhar Maharaj could not tolerate. Then finally it was published that the deities in Assam arrived on their own accord. No one invited them. Then he went to Prabhupada and he fell down at his feet and said, Prabhupada, 3 times, everywhere there is a mention that no one invited the deities. I am a culprit. I am an offender. I forgot to invite the deities. Please forgive me. Then Prabhupada said that Bhagavan does not take any offense of the surrendered soul. So some devotees told Srila Bhakti Rakshidhar Maharaj that yes, today you got the stamp of Prabhupada that you are a surrendered soul. Understand? Although you forgot to invite the deities, but it is not considered an offense because you didn't do it on purpose. Unknowingly forgot to chant the mantras. But deities knew that they have to come. So they came anyways. Understand? So a devotee may make some mistake. Moving to the page number 28 now. In Taittiriya Upanishad, it is stated, Brahma Puchham Pratishtha. It is from the supremely blissful personality of Godhead, Shri Bhagavan, that Brahma, the tell, metaphorically of Shri Bhagavan, obtains its substratum or basis. So just like we have a tailbone, animals have a tail, Bhagavan also has a tail. Understand? And that tail is Brahma. Understand? Means it tags along Bhagavan. It is, this Brahma Jyoti is very bright effulgence. It's so bright that even one ray of that Brahma Jyoti, not even one ray, the semblance of one ray, or the mild reflection of the semblance of that ray, I would say, is illuminating this sun planet. And you cannot even look at the sun with your naked eye. Now recently there was a news that China made a sun in the laboratory, artificial sun, says 5 times hotter than the actual sun, they claim like that. So if China has made the sun, then they should why they worry about this? They should send that sun to the Alaska, cold out there, or some regions of Kashmir and Jammu and Ladakh will appreciate that sun. In Tibet, Siachen border, they should send that sun. If they really made the sun, so that at least the soldiers who are patrolling the border in sub-zero temperatures will get some relief. Why they are not doing that? No one can actually make a sun, because sun is not ordinary. Yachakshuresha savita sakala grahanam raja samasta suramurti ashish tija yasyadnya brahmati samrta kala chakra govindam adi pusham tamam bhajan. That the sun is like the eye of Bhagwan. Bhagwan's 2 eyes are compared to the sun and the moon. Understand? Sometimes you see in the sky that the sun and the moon arise at the same time in the sky. That particular condition is called Pushpavanto. Pushpavanta. So this sun is, represents the effulgence Brahma Jyoti. So you can see how powerful that Brahma Jyoti is. Pavrunu, please remove that effulgence. Satya Dharmaya Drushte. We want to see your beautiful face, but this effulgence is blinding us. So we are unable to see your face, beautiful face. So please remove this effulgence. We don't want to see that effulgence. We want to see the beauty of your face. Understand? So therefore, Shri Bhagavan is far superior truth than Brahma. Now Brahma, there Bhagavan is Satchid Anandamay. But in Brahma, I don't think there is any Ananda. To land in Brahma is actually a punishment, solitary confinement. We give an example. There is a very famous jail in Mumbai called Arthur Road Jail. And the Arthur Road Jail, any terrorist is found, they are kept in one cell called Anda cell. Means there is one round cell and you are given solitary confinement there for many years. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. You are by yourself. There is no one to accompany you, no one to talk to you. Imagine to be by yourself in that particular cell, Anda cell. Solitary confinement. I would say that the punishment of electric chair, cyanide injection, or hanging a person is not as bad as solitary confinement. Because he will go completely cuckoo, mad, to be just alone. And that is what is merging in Brahma effulgences. You are just alone by yourself in that Brahma Jyoti. So therefore, devotees don't accept that Sahajya Mukti. Srila Prabhupada Saraswati Pad said that Kaivalyam Narkayate, Tridashapura Akasha Pushpayate, Durdanti Indre Kala Sarpa Patali Prokhada Dashtrayate, Vishwam Purnam Sukhayate, Vidhi Mahendra Dishya Kitayate, Yat Karunya Kataksha Vaivavatam Tam Gauram Evastuma. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has averted that catastrophe. What Shankaracharya preached, Mahaprabhu very sweetly and cleverly countered the views of Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya Shivaratri. So it will not be inappropriate to speak a little bit of English. We must fast tomorrow like Ekadashi. Now why I am telling this is because tomorrow, it may be too late if I tell you tomorrow that you should have fasted. So I am requesting you that tomorrow the Ekadashi discipline should be observed. You should follow the rules of Ekadashi tomorrow. Understand? Because only by the mercy of Lord Shiva you can get Shuddha Krishna Bhakti. Nimnagana Matha Ganga, Devana Machyutyatha, Vaishnavana Matha Shambhu, Purana Anamidam Tatha. He is the best of the Vaishnavas. Hari Bhakti Vilas, the 14th chapter, some glories of Lord Shiva are told. Maybe they'll help you to fast tomorrow. Because rapid fasts are coming, you may be bored. Oh, say, what is this? Wait a minute. I did fast yesterday, again you are telling me, So your maybe patience may be on the verge of breaking. So anyways, in Hari Bhakti Vilas it is told that Shivaratri Vartamidam Yadi Avashakam Nahi Vaishnavanam Dathapyatra Sadachar Vilikhyate. Actually, Vaishnavas needn't do Shivaratri Vrata. Understand? But anyways, Vaishnava etiquette orders that one must do this Vrata. If you do it, it's very good. If you don't do it, it's okay, but better that you do it. So Krishna Chaturdashi, the 14th day in the dark fortnight, Krishna Chaturdashi, this Vrata has to be done. Actually, Srila Sanatana Goswami tells in Hari Bhakti Vilas, Vaishnavarapi tat karyam Shri Krishna Prate Sada. Why this Shivaratri Vrata is done by anyone? To please Lord Krishna. Understand? To please Lord Krishna, this Vrata is done. In Padma Puran, this Vrata has been advised. Whether you are worshipper of the sun god, or you are a Vaishnava, means devotee of Vishnu, or you are worshipper of any demigod also, no harm. Your worship will not be fruitful unless you fast on Mahashivratri. Understand? Means you will not you will not receive the result of your worship of Lord Vishnu or any other demigod unless you fast on Mahashivratri day. It's a great defect to dishonor this vrata of Mahashivratri. Actually, if someone hates Mahashivratri vrata, what happens? In Karo Puran, Bhagavan himself has told the great sages like Bhrigu. He's telling, oh, Bhrigu, listen, one who worships Lord Narayan goes to Vaikuntha. This is true. But suppose someone hates Maheshwar, means Lord Shiva, someone hates him, then he will not obtain the abode of Lord Vishnu. If one is unalloyed devotee of Vishnu or Krishna, unalloyed devotee of Narayan, but he is criticizing Lord Shiva, then what will be the result? Although he is the unalloyed devotee of Krishna, he criticizes Lord Shiva, then he has to travel through billions and billions of hells, that person. So therefore, we should always observe this Mahashivratri vrata. Take root water and potatoes, groundnuts and all that stuff. Try to do it. Basically, Jagran you have to do. Jagran, Shipad Dante Maharaj was telling me that why you have to do Jagran on Shivratri. The Lord Shiva, there was once the churning of the milk ocean, and the poison emanated from that milk ocean. So all demigods were scared of that poison. They asked Vishnu what to do. Vishnu said, pray to Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva drank that poison. Generally, when you drink poison, if you are, say, poisoned or your snake has beaten you or scorpion has stung you, the poisoned person is not allowed to sleep because the poison rises faster and affects the system and brain and neurological system and also the heart and other region much faster if you are asleep. So a person who is drunk poison has to wake. Maharaj was telling, should I only? Our Lord Shiva drank that poison. That's why Lord Shiva drank the poison by chanting the name of Ram, and nothing happened to him. But we should also stay awake to respect Lord Shiva. So as much as possible, Shivratri night, you can do some Mahamantra Kirtan and fast like Ekadashi. Shivratrau cha kartavyam niyamena trayam buddha upavasa mahadeva puja jagaranam nishi. So, in Shivratri day, you have to do one thing is fasting like Ekadashi. Night time, you have to worship Lord Shiva and you have to stay awake. Generally, we don't offer tulsi to Lord Shiva. Offer tulsi only to Krishna. Lord Shiva likes bilva leaves. But we don't even offer bilva to Lord Shiva because we worship Lord Shiva in the mood of gopi. Means he regards gopis as his Ishwari, worshipable deity. So we generally offer him bilva leaves are not that suitable. So tomorrow is we are observing this one. So Lord Shiva, in the form of Shankaracharya, he preached Mayavad philosophy. Mayavadam ashas shastram prachannam buddham uchyate mayeva vihitam devi kalo brahmana murtina. Lord Shiva is telling Parvati that in the shape of Shankaracharya, I will preach this Mayavad philosophy. But this Mayavad philosophy, if you follow, then it will take you to Brahma Sahibja or Ishwar Sahibja. And that is like hell, as Mahaprabhu has told. It is like a solitary confinement. To be by yourself in the impersonal Brahma Jyoti, it is worse than hell. It is better to be in the hell rather than in the Brahma Jyoti. For example, there is a Petha factory in Agra. Agra, like Mathura Petha is very famous. In Agra, Petha is very, and from that they make the Petha. Even I don't know how they exactly make it, but they use the sugary syrup. So generally in a big pot, they make the sugary syrup. So there were two ants. These two ants were friends, and they entered into one Petha factory, the sugar sweetmeat factory in Agra. So one ant told another ant that you can see that big container full of sugary syrup. Let us jump in that and drink as much sugar syrup as we can. The other ant said, if you want to jump in that pot of sugary syrup, you can jump. But I will be very satisfied if I can even get a drop of from the ladle, even a drop of the sugary syrup falling on the floor, be sucking it and drinking that rather than jumping in the pot of sugar. Because jumping in the pot of sugary syrup is like committing suicide. Then we'll become one with the sugary syrup. And if we ourselves become sugary syrup, we'll relish it. So I want to only drink only one drop of that. So we don't want to be one with Brahma Jyoti, but rather we want to serve Krishna. So in Taittiriya Upanishad, it is stated Brahma Puchham Pratishta. It is from the supremely blissful personality of Godhead, Shri Bhagavan, that Brahma, the tail, metaphorically Shri Bhagavan, of Bhagavan obtains its substratum or basis. The peacock feather exists due to the existence of the peacock, not vice versa. The peacock is the shelter of its feathers, its tail. The tail is not the shelter of the peacock. Similarly, the existence of Bhagavan's impersonal aspect Brahma is due to the existence of the personal aspect of God. Shri Bhagavan, not vice versa, is in comparing Shri Bhagavan to a bird, he is being celebrated as the shelter or basis of Brahma. Its tail. Srimad Bhakti Vedanta, Vaman Goswami Maharaj explaining. Means a peacock has tail. So tail is there because the peacock is there. So peacock is the source and tail is the part and parcel of that peacock. So like that, Bhagavan is the source and Brahma Jyoti is his byproduct. Understand? So Brahma Jyoti has no existence without Bhagavan himself. Because Bhagavan is the source of that bright light. Understand? So that's why it's called Brahma Pucha. Bhagavan's tail is Brahma Jyoti. Srimad Bhagavatam, the essence of all Vedanta and the crown jewel among all sources of knowledge, has described how Parabrahma Bhagavan is full of and that none but Sri Krishna is the best one. Whatever melody you want, is called devotee. Jayapatak Maharaj disciple. It's an old, elderly Mataji. But she is a great perseverance. She walks to the Mangalarti sometimes, most of the times. Long walk she takes. I asked her, what's your name? She said, my name is Andala Priya. Andala means, in South India, there was a great devotee by the name Vishnu Chitta. He had a daughter by the name Andal or Goda Devi. So this Andal or Goda Devi was worshipping Krishna in Magha Mas, or that is Dhanur Mas as they say in South India. They read her poetry composed by Goda Devi. So basically, Krishna can reciprocate with the devotees of for those who are in the servitor mood of servitorship, he becomes Narayan. Who are in the mood of Gopi, he becomes like Dwarkadish and marries the queens. Understand? So Krishna can reciprocate with the devotees. He is Rasa Swarupa. This is so because, as explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, he is the object of all 12 rasas. Mallanam Ashabir Nranam Naravara Striram Smaro Murtiman. Bhagavan Shri Krishna was simultaneously pursued as a thunder by the wrestlers. Mallanam Ashanir. Ashani means thunder. Like when Krishna punched the wrestlers like Chanur and Mushtik. Apparently, Chanur and Mushtik, I think they were from Andhra Pradesh. Understand? So, when Krishna punched them, they felt that every single punch of Krishna was like a thunderbolt hitting their faces, breaking their teeth. They are able to see the stars in the daytime. That is punch of Krishna, understand? So he's called thunderbolt. As the best of men by men, Krishna is Purushottam, Nunam Naravaraha, best of the men. All the other men saw that Krishna is the best of the men. As Cupid personified by women, Srinam Smaro Murtiman. Smara means Cupid. Cupid is actually shoots the arrows. He has 5 arrows, the Cupid. Jaydev Goswami has described. Krishna and Cupid both are called Pushpaman because they have flower arrows. But there is a Kamdev who is very attractive. He is the husband of Rati Devi. But that Kamadev is a facsimile of Krishna. Original Kamadev is Krishna only. Samashtigat Kamadev is Krishna. Then his son Pradyumna is also Kamadev. The second manifestation, the first manifestation, the first and the original manifestation of Kamadev is Krishna. The second manifestation of Kamadev is Pradyumnaji, his son in Dwarka from Rukmini. And the third manifestation of Kamadev is in the heavenly planet. He is nothing but a facsimile of Pratirup of Sri Krishna. Understand? So original Kamadev is Sri Krishna. Seyam Nadi Kumada Banda Karaste Vatad Yamunam Tadamidam Nikilam Tadidat Ahanta Kim to Nava Nirada Komalango Nalo Ki Pushpa Dhanusha Pratama Avatara. So gopis are lamenting in separation of Krishna when Krishna went to Mathura that alas, alas, we are not able to see the first incarnation of Cupid. Krishna was the Cupid personified for the ladies. Moreover, in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Shiva has himself said, Brahman. By these words, Bhagavan Shri Krishna has personally indicated that he is beyond the highest tattva, Paratpar tattva, and the embodiment of rasa, rasasva. So Krishna is even beyond Brahma, Paramatma, even Bhagwan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is called Mahabhagwan. Krishna is maybe called Bhagwan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahabhagwan. Understand? Mahaprabhu. Krishna is called Prabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is called Mahaprabhu. Understand? Even more magnificent. Oh, more magnanimous. Understand? And full of rasa. Srila Bhakti Gyan Bharati Maharaj told a very nice incident. That actually in Rath takes place, the first honor goes to the king of Jagannath Puri. He comes with an entire entourage. It's a very expensive affair because he has to be brought with royal paraphernalia and royal honor. So government has to spend a lot of money to invite the king and his entourage for this. The king will sweep with a golden broom in front of Jagannath, and then only Jagannath's cart will start. Cart procession will start. So one time, the government of Odisha thought that let's go for cost cutting. Let us not invite the king of Jagannath Puri, because if we invite the king of Jagannath Puri, So you see that, so the government wanted to do some cost cutting, and they did not invite the king that day. King was waiting, dressed in his royal attire, and he was waiting when the government will call me. Some escort will come and take me for the procession. But he kept on waiting and waiting and waiting. No representative of government came to invite the king. King felt greatly distressed in the heart. So then the Pandas, generally it is the king who lifts the Jagannath. He puts his hand and then Jagannath is lifted with the help of other Pandas. But because king didn't come, so Pandas started. The Brahmin Pandas, they started lifting Jagannath. But what happened? Oh, their hands and legs broke. Jagannath didn't move an inch. He had become so heavy. So finally, one learned person told, "You are foolish persons. Go and invite the king. Jagannath will not move an inch unless you invite the king." So finally, the government arranged the king to be brought there. And king prayed to Jagannath, "Oh Lord Jagannath, these are foolish persons. They don't know. Please forgive them. But you are the Supreme Lord. You are Prabhu of everyone. You must forgive the offenses of your servants, ignorant persons." And Jagannath became lighter and feather. Immediately, very easily, they brought Jagannath on the chariot. So this is a real incident. This is a Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Maharaj written in his book. So Bhagavan has that Bhakta Vatsalya, the love for the king of Puri, natural love. So we should always love, we should always respect the king of Puri. We should never think, oh, no, now what is the significance? No, nothing, not like that. The whole dynasty of the king of Puri is great devotees. So here, Bhagavan, Shri Krishna, Jagannath, Mahaprabhu, they have their Bhakta Vatsalya. Is Paratpar Tattva. The supremely pure existence, Vishuddha Sattva mind, the beginningless deity, Anadi Vigraha, Brajendrandan Shyam Sundar Shri Krishna, being adorned with his name, form, qualities and pastimes, is in fact Rasa Swarup, or the personification of Rasa. His infant, childhood and adolescent pastimes all indicate this, because he is fully independent of all controls and indifferent to any other cause. By his own sweet will, he reveals himself to humans. Specifically his Premi Bhaktas, in the faculty of their heart. So that is the thing. He reveals himself by his own sweet will. Means we cannot force Bhagavan. Like for example, there was one sadhu. He had very big dreadlocks on the head. And he was doing bhajan in the kunjas of Vrindavan. And he was standing and doing bhajan. It so happened that all his dreadlocks became entangled in the creepers and trees and also the thorny bushes of Vrindavan. I think this is a story maybe of Kamyavan or Kokilvan. And then for many days he was just standing because he cannot sit down because all his dreadlocks are entangled now in the thorny bushes and all that. So Krishna, he felt some compassion for this sadhu. So he's just standing for many days chanting Harinam. Let me go and unentangle his dreadlocks and free him from that bondage. So Krishna came alone and said, "Baba, your dreadlocks are entangled, let me disentangle them." Then Baba said, "Please don't touch my dreadlocks. I don't trust you at all. I think instead of unentangling or disentangling my dreadlocks, you will entangle them even more. That is your job. No one can trust you, Krishna. If you come with Radharani, maybe I'll trust you." Then Krishna said, "Okay, I'll bring Radharani also." Then Radharani came and both Kishore Kishori, they were engaged in unentangling his dreadlocks. Understand? So on his own accord, Krishna came. He reveals himself to the human beings. Understand? Like in Vrajamandal, you go to a place where one lady is there. Early in the morning, she is churning the wheat flour. Some grains, she's actually making powder of it. It using a grinding mill. Previously, the woman never had to undergo cesarean way of giving birth. Cesarean is the way by which they cut open the belly of the woman to deliver a baby. Understand? Apparently, I think Julius Caesar was born that way. It's called cesarean operation. It's quite commonplace in India now. Because women's lower abdomen is not exercised. Previously, the Matajis, remember my grandmother's time, they used to make the wheat powder by using the grinding mill, stone grinding mill. So that lady, elderly lady, she used to get up in the morning and 3 o'clock, 2:30, 3 o'clock, she used to grind like this. And grrr, grrr, grrr sound would come because two stones are rubbing on each other. So Krishna's sleep was disturbed because he had just finished the Ras Leela. He has come home and sleeping. And then it is a disturbed sleep. So one time Krishna went to that lady and said, Mother, why you grind the wheat so early in the morning? It disturbed my sleep. Said, boy, she didn't recognize the boy, but he was Krishna. Boy, what can I do? This is my livelihood. People give me some money, remuneration. I get some commission for grinding this wheat. This is my livelihood. That's why I'm very poor. How will I survive if I don't grind the wheat? Early morning is the best time. Okay, Krishna said, on this grinding wheel, I will place my lotus feet. And just show people my good impression and they will give big charity. You never have to work so hard again. And even today, you can see that grinding wheel in Vrindavan. And Krishna is footprint you can see there. So Krishna reveals to the Premi Bhaktas on his own accord. So it is told that in the faculty of their heart, in their external senses like hearing and sight, and in their internal senses, their mind and intellect. So hearing means devotee will hear. This book will further explain that how the devotee will hear the flute song of Krishna. And they see the beautiful form of Krishna also. Bhagavatam is not some hypothetical or some speculation. Nishamya Geetam Tadanangavardhanam Vrajastriya Krishna Gruhita Manasa Ajagmuranyamalakshitodyama Sayatra Kanto Javalola Kundala Nishamya Geetam Tad Anangavardhanam. Kamadev has one more name called Ananga. Ananga means who has no limbs. Why Kamadev is called Ananga? Because Lord Shiva burnt Kamadev to ashes. Understand? So Kamadev became limbless, without any limbs, Ananga. But then Krishna again offered him a body in the shape of his son, Pradyumna. Understand? Or Krishna himself is the body of Kamadev. So gopis hear the flute song of Krishna and they are attracted to his flute song. His beauty also very much attractive. One time Radharani she saw Krishna and heard his flute song. And then she asked Lalita that, who's this boy I'm seeing? Then Lalita told that he's the son of darkness. Then she said, I don't know that if the darkness has any son. Why you're lying to me? Asti kopis timiras tanandaya kinchita anchita padam sagayati. Yan manake nishamya kavadum navadhuta jayate. If anyone will hear the flute song of Krishna, then Lalita said that that person will be mesmerized. He'll forget his everything. So Krishna's form is also very beautiful. Mukhajita Shara Dindu. The Krishna's face defeats the beauty of autumn moon. Keli Lavanya Sindhu. Krishna is the ocean of sweet amorous pasture. Mukhajadashar Dindu, Keli Lavanya Sindhu, Karavita Kandur. Krishna is having a ball with his plays with the ball. Also, he has a butter ball to eat. Ballavi Pranabandhu is the very life, bosom friend of the gopis. Vapurupa Sutra Henum. But what is the body of Krishna decorated with? It is decorated with the dust raised by the hooves of the cows. Dust raised by the hooves of the cows. Kaksha Nikshipta Venu. And having a flute tucked in his belt, vest belt. Cloth vest belt. On his dhoti, he has tucked his flute. Vachana Vashagadhenu. Another quality of Krishna is that he completely controls the cows by his audible signals, by his sounds from his mouth. Like he'll tell the cow, tiri 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 tiri. Come to the shore of the lake to drink the water. Niri niri niri. Come to the water, drink the water, chew chew chew, like this he'll make the sound. So he can control the cows like that. The flute sound by the sounds from his mouth. So he's really Govinda. He's really Gopal. Understand? So such Krishna's beautiful form appears in the faculty of the devotees. To bestow mercy upon the living entities of this universe and to fulfill the prema-laden desires of the bhaktas, Shri Krishna, although unborn, advents of his own accord as Shri Krishna in the Yadu dynasty and Shri Ram in the Raghu dynasty. So Bhagavan wants to bestow mercy. That's why he comes in the shape of Shri Krishna and as Shri Ram in the Raghu dynasty. He did the sweet pastimes, Ram. Ado Rama Tapovanadigaman. What Ram did first? He went to the Tapovan with his Guru, Vishwamitra. He went to Gurudev's village, Baksar. There he killed Tadaka. Delivered Ahalya, who had become stone. That's why Bhagavan is called Agashoshan, Agamardan, Agahara. Agahara. One of the name of Krishna or Ram is Agahara, remover of the sin. Like Rupa Goswami says, Agadamana Yashoda Nandano Nandasuno Kamalanayana Gopi Chandra Vrindavanendra Pranatakrana Krishna Ityeva Aneka Swarupe Toimurati Uchcharu Vartatam Namadeya. Rupa Goswami is telling that let's pray to Nam Prabhu and let our attachment to the holy name increase. We have to pray to the Nam Prabhu that please our attachment to your names, to names of Krishna like Agahara. Now, Agam Dhunvanti Karsnena, Niharam Iva Bhaskara. Agam Dhunvanti Karsne. Krishna chanting of Krishna's names removes sins. Not only Krishna's name, the semblance of Krishna's name also removes the sin. Like many people tell, oh, Ajamil pastime is nothing but about the glories of the holy name. No. Ajamil's pastimes, the deliverance of Ajamil, is not about the glories of the holy name. It is actually the glories of the semblance of the holy name, Nama Bhas. Understand? Actual glories of Nama are not described in Ajamil pastimes. Only the semblance of the holy name's glories are described. So Krishna, what he will do? He will remove the sins. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he removed the sins of everyone by giving Harinam. So, Ram Nam or Krishna Nam, they are removers of the sins. The testimony of Shruti or the Vedas is certainly the best of Shabda Praman. Vishavarshini Vritti we are reading. Authoritative evidence revealed through sound. Actually, I was reading that book by Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Maharaj, very beautiful book. He was telling that the sound vibration, the holy name, the sound, the transcendental sound, Shabda Brahma, not Shabda Samanya. Shabda is also two types. Sound is also two types. Mundane sound, ordinary sound, and also transcendental sound vibration. So, Srila Bharati Maharaj was telling that once there was a full darkness imposed by the government because the war was going on with Pakistan. So Pakistan border, there were some cities in Punjab, they are bordering the Pakistan, like Patiala, Batinda, Chandigarh and all. So there, government had ordered that no one should light the lamps in night time, not even in front of the deity. Don't even light an oil lamp. Otherwise, the enemies will see the light and they will shoot a missile in that direction. But even in that darkness, Babaji Maharaj was able to hear the air waves. He had a radio set and he was able to hear AM radio, amplitude modulated radio signals he could hear. The sound is so subtle. Sound is so subtle. Understand? So, no wonder that the best of the Praman is Shabda Praman. We trust the authoritative evidence. For example, the war is going on in Ukraine and Russia. Very unfortunate. Actually, this war should stop. But actually, what happened? Why the war takes place? Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj says that it takes place due to the sin of killing cows. As long as cow killing will go on, these wars will not stop. It's a very severe karmic reaction to the cow killing. Understand? So, anyways, but we are not there in Ukraine or Russia, but we hear from the Shabda, sound vibration. News, YouTube videos, radio set or television channels. We hear and we believe it that war is going on. Understand? So, in the material world also, the Shabda, the authoritative evidence is so much recognized. So, to reveal Bhakti Tattva, that divine substance of the principle of Godhead that is beyond inert matter, self-manifest and fully laden with transcendental bliss, Srila Vishwanath Thakur quoting evidence from the revealed scriptures expressing the faultless and unerring authority of Shruti or Shabda Praman. For example, how we know that Mahamantra should be chanted? Shruti Praman. We hear from Brahma Vaivarta Puran, we also hear from Shveta Upanishad, Narsingha Tapni, Gopal Tapni Upanishad about the glories of the holy name. So many Upanishads. Kali Santrana Upanishad also. There is one particular Upanishad called Kali Santrana Upanishad. This Upanishad is about a conversation between Narada and Brahma. In the Kali Santrana Upanishad, one time Narada, he was very scared that Kali Yuga is approaching. He went to his father and the spiritual master Lord Brahma. That father, I'm very scared. What's going to happen? Kali Yuga is coming. People will be so ruthless, so violent, so loose morals. No one will respect mother, father. People will be controlled by their spouses. They will not respect the mother and father who gave them birth and raised them. Men will have very long hair. That will be considered a sign of beauty. So like this, how to cross the dangerous Kali Yuga and attain Vaikuntha planet or Golok Vrindavan? Then Brahma told that I will give one mantra. You chant this mantra, 32 syllable mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. And no rules and regulations for chanting this mantra. Anytime, whether you are clean or unclean, pure or impure, chant this mantra. So that is the authoritative evidence, Shabda Praman. We believe that Mahamantra. And in Guru Parampara, we have got that mantra. Understand? So, greatest authority is Shruti, Vedas. Wisdom is knowledge. That which helps bring about actual knowledge of an object is known as praman, evidence. Generally, you go to the court and they ask praman, what evidence you have? What evidence you have that you are saying so? Means any accusation should be substantiated by praman, evidence. Understand? Like Srila Sridhar Maharaj tells a story about one great lawyer. That lawyer was so expert. We call lawyer, Dandi Maharaj calls him liar. So lawyer is liar. Anyways, this lawyer, he was pleading on behalf of his client. But the lawyer had drunk. He was intoxicated. And that inebriated, intoxicated state, he came to the court to plead on behalf of his client. Now, because he was so intoxicated, he started speaking the arguments which would have got his client arrested. Understand? Because he was not in his senses. He was speaking the arguments which would have got his own client into trouble. So he kept on giving arguments. After some time, the junior lawyer pulled his coat and said, "Sir, what are you doing? You are speaking all the arguments which will land our client in the trouble." Then he came to his senses. Oh, I am speaking the arguments actually against my client. Then he said, the opposing lawyer may say so, but, and then again he cut all the arguments he had put. Understand? That's what the lawyers can do. Understand? Like Krishna one time playing a wrestling match with Sridham, and Durvasa Muni was watching in Raman Reti. Raman Reti is the place where Iskon temple is there. Raman Reti. Krishna and his Sakhas used to wrestle there. There was a lot of sand there. So, as Krishna and Sridham were wrestling, Radharani's elder brother, Sridham defeated Krishna and sat on the chest of Krishna. Krishna was lying flat on the ground. And then Sridham declared, "I am victorious. I am the winner. You are lost." And Krishna said, "No, I am victorious. We are lost." And Sridham said, How can you say so? Your back is touching the ground. As per the laws of wrestling, if anyone's back is touching the ground, that person is lost. Krishna said, "No, my wrestling laws are different. My nose is up, so I am victorious." Then Durvasa Muni was watching. This is Parabrahma, lying all the time, breaking all the rules. Then both the boys came and sat in the lap of Durvasa. Said, Baba, please tell me." They caught his beard and began to shake his head. "Please, Baba, tell me, I am victorious." Sridham was telling, "Tell Baba, I am victorious." Krishna was saying, "No, Baba, tell me, I am victorious." Durvasa was gaping mouth, looking at them. Understand? This is Parabrahma. So, Parabrahma can lie. Parabrahma can lie, could not believe. But for us, what Krishna says is the Praman. Certainly that is Praman for us. So here, Srimad Bhagavatam has mentioned 4 types of Praman, revealed Vedic knowledge: direct sense perception, inference, and the wisdom of tradition. Revealed Vedic knowledge, direct sense perception, inference, and the wisdom of tradition. So, Srimad Bhagavatam, 11 canto, 19 chapter, 17 verse. Apparently, if I am not wrong, this is part of Uddhav Gita. There is one Krishna narrated to Uddhava this Gita. This is actually has all the knowledge which Krishna told Arjuna also on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. But Krishna reiterated and told even something more to Uddhava. If I am not wrong, that when Krishna, the annihilation of Yadu dynasty took place, and Uddhava approached Krishna and asked him some questions. Krishna was lying under the tree and Krishna answered his questions, and that is Uddhava Gita. So 11th canto, Krishna is telling, Shrutihi pratyaksham aitihyam anumanam chatushtayam pramaneshu anavasthanad vikalpat sa virajyate. Among all kinds of evidence for revealed Vedic knowledge, Shruti. Actually, in Jaiva Dharma, it is called Amnaya. Amnaya praha partatvam harimiha sarvashaktim rasadhin. Tat bhinnam shamsha divat prakriti kavalitan tad vimuktam shabhavat. Veda vedam prakashakam sadhanam shuddha bhakti. Basically, Amnaya means revealed Vedic knowledge. Not all the Vedas are the evidence. Not all the Vedas are praman for us. But only the revealed Vedic knowledge is evidence for us. Because there are some Puranas which are meant for the people in mode of ignorance. Some Puranas meant for the people in the mode of passion. Some Puranas meant for the people in the mode of goodness. Unlike Bhagavad Puran is also for people in transcendental mood. But in Bhagavad also some places, some cheating may be there. Understand? Because if you don't read Bhagavatam under the guidance of authority, you may still be cheated. Understand? For example, Bhagavatam will tell that there was a fratricidal war, all the Yadavas were killed in fighting with each other, and then one hunter came, shot an arrow, it hit Krishna's foot, and Krishna also left the world. This is actually for the people who are not really great devotees. These things have been told. But the inner purport of this, Srila Gurudev tells that the devotees know that the Yadavas, they are pure devotees. Krishna just made excuse so that he can take it to God. No. He cannot become reckless, uncontrollable by drinking liquor or anything else. Understand? So anyway, so the Vedas, which are accepted by those portions of the Vedas, which are accepted by the Guru Parampara, that's called Shruti or Amnaya. Direct sense perception, protection. Means I see by my eyes. I see that cat is drinking milk which was kept in a pot. I can see by my eyes cat is drinking the milk. That is called Pratyaksha Praman. The wisdom of tradition is called Aitiha. Sometimes the tradition also is there. Aitiha Praman. And inference means Anuman. Anuman means I had kept some pot in my house, about 2 liters milk was there. Now the milk pot is empty and I am seeing a cat exiting. I didn't see the cat drinking milk. But the cat is going and milk is empty. Cat must have drunk. I can infer like that. This is called inference. Anuma means predicting, speculating, like that. So 3 of these 4 kinds of praman, namely direct sense perception, inference and wisdom of tradition, may be prone to error. However, there is no possibility of error being present in scriptures spoken by Bhagavan. And there are many types of illusions. I have seen in geometry also there are many diagrams, illusory diagrams, which will make you think. You may make an error by just your eyes. Understand? So eyes or our senses like the sound, the ears, or tongue, nose, they can be evidence also. Means they can give us some knowledge, but that knowledge may not be perfect. For example, if you go to Dal Lake or in Kashmir, you'll see that in cold season, vapors are coming from the water, as if the water is boiling. Actually, water is almost near zero temperature, 3 degrees, 4 degrees. But when the water is very cold, you'll see that vapors are coming. Steam is coming from water. Actually, someone may think that actually water is boiling, but actually water is very cold. Sometimes you'll see that in a conch shell, silver is there. The inner part of the conch shell may shine like silver. And someone may fall in illusion, oh, I got silver, but actually it is just the effulgent part of the conch shell. If you are in a desert, you'll see as if there's a lake mirage, and you'll go there, walk 1 kilometer, and you'll see that it is no lake, it is just sand there. So our eyes are not good evidence. Inference is also not good evidence. But there is no possibility of error being present in scriptures spoken by Bhagavan. As the origin of such Shrutis is Swayam Bhagavan himself, they are devoid of faults arising from misinterpretation, careless or hasty judgment, deception, ill-equipped senses, and so on. So Bhagavan has no defects. Bhagavan is free from defects. So therefore the scriptures revealed by Bhagavan, by Vyasadeva, because Vedas, Veda Narayan, the Vedas is Narayan himself. So in Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, Vedesya sarver ahameva vedyo, Vedanta kurut veda videva chaham. Anything that is to be known in the Vedas is Bhagavan himself. They are trying to understand only Bhagavan from the Vedas. So the Vedas, the Shrutis are Bhagavan himself. So Bhagavan himself has manifested in the form of Vedas, and therefore they cannot deceive us. The Vedas cannot deceive us. And our sense perception may be mistaken. For example, I may look in the sky and say that the sun is 50 kilometers high up in the sky. Someone may say 1,000 kilometers. We can go on speculating, but Bhagavatam exactly tells how far is the sun from the earth. It tells us that 1,00,000 yojanas. 1 yojana is 8 miles. Bhagavatam cannot give us the wrong information. Understand? So in Manusmriti says, Pratyakshas chanumanam cha, Shastram cha vividhagavam, Trayam suviditam karyam, Dharma shuddhim avapsat. It is absolutely compulsory for anyone who wants to know the principle of Dharma to be conversant in 3 subjects: direct sense perception, inference, and smritis that are based on the Vedas and various complementary Vedic literatures. Sometimes sense perception is okay, sometimes. Inference is also sometimes okay. But mainly the smritis, the Vedas, Puranas, these complementary Vedic literatures like Ramayana, Mahabharata, they are actually very strong evidence, very correct evidence. Understand? So, from among the 4 kinds of pramanas previously mentioned, Sri Madhurya has adopted only 3. Pratyaksha antar bhavet yasmat aitiham tena deshika pramana prakshata tatra mukhya shrutir bhavet. Prameya Ratnavali. Prameya Ratnavali means important prameyas are given. Since the wisdom of tradition passed on by word of mouth exists within the Praman of direct perception, the best of guides, Madhva Muni, has only acknowledged 3 types of Praman. Among them, revealed Vedic knowledge, a Paurushaya Vedavakya. Vedic scriptures with no mortal origin is certainly considered the principal form of Praman. So Vedas are called Apaurushaya. No human being has written the Vedas. Vedas are nothing but the breathing of the inhalation and exhalation of Bhagavan Vishnu, Narayana. So Vedas are Apaurushaya Gyan, not written by any ordinary human being. Understand? So I think time is up now. I wish you all happy Shivratri tomorrow. Please observe Ekadashi like fast. Maybe take some fruit and water and potatoes and all that. Anukalpa Prasada. And sing the glories of Lord Shiva, Gopishar Mahadev Pranam Mantra. Recite it, and offer flowers to Shiva's deity. Don't offer bilva, because bilva is not for the gopis. Flowers are for the gopis. Lord Shiva has become gopi. And do kirtan, stay awake as much as you can. Try as much as you can. Understand? Hare Krishna. If anyone has any question, please ask. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for your beautiful class.
Dandat. Hare Krishna. Dandat.
Maharaj, sorry, I just wanted to know if you can come tomorrow, same time, to give us class on Shiva Tattva, if it's okay with you.
About Shivaratri? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I will try. 9 o'clock, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'll try. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yeah, Shiva Tattva is important.
Hare Krishna.
Dandat Pranam Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Why is it that on Shivaratri you should keep awake, Maharaj?
Because any person who is stung by poisonous snake or poisonous scorpion, that person should not be allowed to sleep. Otherwise, the poison will have quicker effect on neurological system. Understand? See, like in Udupi, there was one person, devotee of Madhurya Sampradaya. His son was stung by scorpion, tail of a scorpion. So, very big scorpion. So, the poison was rising. But he had so much faith in the mantra chanted by Madhvacharya. He kept on chanting, Vande Vandyam Sadanandam Vasudevam Niranjanam Indirapati Madhyadi Varadeshak Varapradam. So he was chanting this mantra, Vande Vandyam Sadanandam Vasudevam Niranjanam Indirapati Madhyadi Varadesha Varapradam. In this particular mantra chant, Vam Bija comes. Vam Bija is a Garuda Bija. So Garuda Bija counters the poison. Understand? So his son fell asleep. When he fell asleep, poison will act faster on the neurological system. But because he was chanting this mantra, his son was not harmed by the poison of the scorpion. Understand? So generally speaking, Lord Shiva drank the poison, Maharaj told, on this day. And that's why we should also stay awake. Understand? To respect Lord Shiva. Tomorrow, we have to do puja tomorrow. And we have to chant different names. Prathamayame Shivaya Namaha. Understand? And then Om Adhyaya Namam, Vamaya Namam, Tatpurushaya Namam, Aghoraya Namaha, Om Ishanaya Namah, like this. Or we can simply chant Vrindavana Vani Pateje Soma Soma Mauli. Sanandana Sanak Sanandana Sanadana Nardedya. Gopishwara Vraj Vilas Yudhangri Padme Prema Prayat Chandrupadi Namo Namaste. We can offer pranam to Gopishwara Mahadev. The scriptures advise us that we should definitely do Jagaran. Shivaratrau, Chopavasa Puja, Jagarananam, Triyanam Avashakatvam Likhati Shiveti. Shivaratri mein upvas. Shivaratri, very much important to fast on Shivaratri day. As much as possible. If Nirjal, that's the best. If not Nirjal, taking Anukalpa fruit and all. And you have to worship Lord Shiva in the night time tomorrow. That in India also, generally temples are closed in the night. But tomorrow, temples especially be open till late night, so that people can worship Lord Shiva in the night time. And you have to stay away. This is then is on the person who is worshipping Lord Shiva, he has to go in the evening to the Shiva temple. Then he should take Achman in the Shiva temple. And Om Keshavaya Namah, Om Narayana Namah, Madhavaya Namah. Achman you have to do. And in front of Lord Shiva, you have to take a vow. Then you have to worship Lord Shiva. And then those who are Brahmanas, they can chant the mantra Namah Shivaya, Panchakshari mantra. 5 syllables are there. Or by Shatarudra mantra. They can worship the deity of Lord Shiva, Shivalingam, with milk, ghee, honey, Also the juice, grape juice, and also by yogurt, curd, like this. And also by pure water, they should bathe Lord Shiva tomorrow in the evening time. Then they can offer very nice sandalwood, gandha, flowers, and also seeds to Lord Shiva. And offer the incense to Lord Shiva. Lamp शिशिशिखर समवंशकृत पापों के शुद्धार्थ में अर्घ्य अर्पण करता हूँ, ग्रहण कीजिए. Telling that I am offering you this water to you, arghya, for removal of the sins. You have to worship your Guru also tomorrow, offering dakshina. And night time, observing a night vigil. And in the morning, you have to break the fast by accepting the grain prasada. So this is very, very important. Tomorrow is this Mahashivratri. There's also explained that Swayam Lingam Abhyacha Sopavasa Sajagara Ajananapi Nishpapo Nishado Ganatam Gatam. That is Hari Bhakti Vilas. In Nagar Khanda, it is told that there was a Chandal. Chandal means dog eater. They kill dog and eat the flesh of dog. Very low class person, Chandal. He didn't know that there is Shivratri. But he observed the fast nevertheless. And he stayed awake all night. And he worshipped one Shivalinga which was existing from time immemorial. Understand? Swayambhu Linga means self-manifest Linga. Lingas also different types. Ambhu Linga, Linga made from water. Air, Vayu Linga, Agni Linga made from fire. I like that. Different lingas are there. Tejo Linga and like that. So that was the time from Anadi Linga, the Linga of Lord Shiva. Which was present from time immemorial. When he worshipped the Shivalinga, the Chandala, he became free from sins and he became an eternal associate of Lord Shiva. Chaturdashi. If one will worship Lord Shiva and stay awake all night, doesn't sleep in the night, he will never have to drink the breast milk of his mother. Means he will never have to take birth again. No more birth again. He will be liberated. Also it is told that Kaschit Punya Visheshena Varta Hinopiha Puman Jagaram Kurote Tatra Sa Rudra Samatam Rajat. If someone doesn't even fast tomorrow, doesn't even fast, means eat grains, but somehow or other due to some great good fortune, if he stays awake in the night, not fasting, but stays awake in the night, then although he is the lowest of the person, means the lowest Antyaja, lowest means most fallen person, even lower than Shudra, Chandal, Antyaja, dog eater, he will become the eternal associate of Lord Shiva, obtaining Sarupya Mukti, like having the same form as Lord Shiva. Now the question will come that we are Vaishnavas, we don't want all this stuff, we are talking Maharaj. Understand? So Sanatana Goswami is now telling us, quoting another verse number 221. Shri Krishne Vaishnavanam tu prema bhaktir vivardhate Krishna bhakti rasa sara varshi rudranukampaya. He's telling Sanatana Goswami Pad, Nanu Shri Krishna Charanar Vinda Bhakte Kapekshanam Vaishnavanam Shivavartana Kim Syat? Oh, those who want bhakti for the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, the Vaishnavas, what is the need for them to do Shiva Vrata? So expecting this question, he says, that वैष्णव होकर शिवरात्रि व्रत करने से कृष्ण भक्ति रस सार वर्षीय रुद्र के प्रसाद से श्री कृष्ण में प्रेम भक्ति वर्धित होती है. That if anyone will fast on Shivratri and stay awake in Shivratri night, then one will receive the mercy of Lord Shiva, and one's devotion for Shri Krishna will increase. Because Shiva is the Rudra of Krishna's devotion service. Rasa, Krishna Bhakti Rasa Sar. He showers the essence of the nectar of Krishna's devotional service, Lord Shiva. So if anyone will please Lord Shiva that day by fasting and staying awake, he will certainly advance in Krishna Bhakti. This is the authority Srila Sanatana Goswami is giving. Srila Gurudev also has to fast. Srila Govinda Maharaj also has to fast. Understand? So tomorrow what will happen? That tomorrow night, Lord Shiva will enter all the Shiva lingas in all the temples in the universe, not just the earth planet. Every single Shiva temple, that Shiva linga, Lord Shiva will enter tomorrow. That's why this night is called Shivratri. That is the meaning of. So tomorrow, Lord Shiva is entering all the Shiva lingas in the night time, especially night time. Tomorrow night time is very, very important. That's why if you don't get time in night, worship in the daytime, or at least Nama Japa and also Gopishwar Mahadev Pranama. So this is very, very important. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Bol, Mohan Prabhuji. Radhe Radhe.
Mohan Prabhu, you are mute. Please unmute.
All right. So this is very, very important. Srimad Danti Maharaj told me that do some research on this. So I was taking Vilas, this Vrata is mentioned. She is the heart of Vishnu. Vishnu is Shivamay, and Shiva is also Vishnumay. So one doesn't see any defect between them. So this is what is explained. Shivasya Hridayam Vishnur Vishnustu Hridayam Shiva. Understand? Just like you say, my mother is my heart. And mother will say, my daughter is my heart. In that sense, mother and daughter are, although they are different, they are one in heart. So like that, the Shiva's heart is Krishna and Krishna's heart is Shiva. So therefore, if you worship Shiva tomorrow, Krishna is pleased. No doubt about it. And Shiva is Vishnu and Vishnu is Shiva. Understand? यथा एवं विष्णु पश्यामि तथा ते स्वस्थिरायुषा. So therefore, we should not skip this further. Understand? Hare Krishna, Hare. Those who don't follow this, many people they say that they quote Bhrugu's words in Bhagavatam. Bhrugu had cursed the followers of Lord Shiva. That those who worship Lord Shiva, they will be considered devoid of all the good etiquette. They will be rejected. But this is not applying to this tomorrow's worship. We must respect Lord Shiva as Gopishwar Mahadev, as Rameshwar Mahadev, Kameshwar Mahadev, Ashisheshwar Mahadev, Bhuteshwar Mahadev, Shirangeshwar Mahadev. In Brajamandala itself, we see so many temples of Lord Shiva. We visit during Parikrama. Because without Srila there was a realization of Bhakti Shrup Siddhanti Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Sarkar's disciple. It is not difficult to get Krishna Bhakti without the mercy of Lord Shiva. It is impossible. Impossible to get Krishna Bhakti without the mercy of Lord Shiva. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama. Anyone else any question?
So you stay vigil and do what,
Hare.
Maharaj? Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Pardon?
So you stay at night, stay vigil tomorrow, and you chant Hare Krishna mantra or what?
Yes, yes. Hare Krishna mantra. See, Lord Shiva is the greatest of the Vaishnavas. Shri Aniruddha Prabhu also said that if you want to please Lord Shiva, you chant Hare Krishna. Understand? Lord Shiva will be very happy that you are worshipping Lord Krishna. As much as Lord Krishna is happy when you worship Lord Shiva, so Lord Shiva is also very happy when you worship Lord Krishna, because they are each other's heart. So really speaking, if you want to please Lord Shiva, you have to sing Mahamantra tomorrow. Understand? But also worship Lord Shiva tomorrow. And chant Hare Krishna mantra. That is very, very important. We chant Hare Krishna mantra. Gurudev told that actually the Mahamantra is also spoken by Lord Shiva only to Parvati. Understand? Lord Shiva only instructed this Mahamantra to Parvati. So Lord Shiva only tells the glories of Ram Nam, Krishna Nam to his beautiful wife Parvati, who is his disciple. Understand? So it doesn't mean that we give up the worship Lord Krishna. Only thing is that because he is the greatest of the Vaishnava, we show respect to him tomorrow. Must show respect. Understand? Because
Maharaj, why don't you come? Maharaj, Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Krishna Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare. Huh?
Maharaj,
Haribol.
being
Yes,
Shivratri tomorrow, some of them are celebrating tonight, and Shivratri is as being tonight. So we will be only lonely tomorrow if we celebrate ourselves tomorrow.
Yeah, because in verse number 205 of the 14th chapter, the reason for this is given by Srila Sanatana Goswami. Shivratri vrate bhutam kama viddham vivarjayet. Means if it is the Chaturdashi, the 14th day in the dark fortnight is actually called Shivratri. But if it is contaminated by 13 day, Trayodashi, then that Chaturdashi should be rejected. Understand? So there are conditions. Parashar Muni has also said, Jaya Prayuktanam Natu Jatum Kurya Shivasya Ratrim Priya Krish Shivasya. Means there is a Veda. Means if there is a little bit of also 13th day of the lunar cycle enters into the 14th day, then we don't observe that. The next day we observe. Understand? So after accurate calculations, tomorrow is ascertained as the Shivratri. So there should not be any Veda. Veda means there should not be any contaminated. For example, you are given Panchagavya. Panchagavya means like milk, yogurt, ghee, butter, curd, everything. These are all nice things, right? Gomutra and everything. This is Panchagavya. All 5 products of the cow are mixed. The cow dung. Very healthy. But if you keep this Panchagavya in one container which is made from the leather of a dog, then that Panchagavya is considered very bad, not fit for drinking. Understand? So if that TG may be very good, but even 1 second or 2 seconds of previous night Chaturdashi is contaminated by Trayodashi, then so the calculation is, some people are observing today also, but it is Viddha. It is contaminated Tithi. So best is to observe tomorrow. Then you will get the correct benefit. Otherwise you will not get the. So we should always give up the Trayodesha Sayukta Chaturdashi. Understand? And also, there should not be any contamination of Amavasya also. Like Amavasya should also not be mixed with that Krishna Chaturdashi. Because this particular vow is pleasing to Lord Mahadev. Understand?
So fasting should be nirjal or just be, you can take some fruits and
Tomorrow we should go to the Shiva temple, if not also. Depending on the capacity, sometimes people do nirjal, they simply sleep all day long. That happens to me also. Sometimes I do nirjal, then I get so much sleep, don't want to wake up, don't want to do japa, don't want to read any scriptures, don't want to go for class, don't want to go for Nagar Kirtan, nothing, just want to sleep. Understand? There's no energy. So then in that case, better that person like me should take some Hanukalpa Prasad like fruit, potatoes, groundnut, and give class, do some kirtan, harikatha, understand, do some preaching. Means seva should not be given up. See, if you can continue seva, some people are very strong. Even without drinking water, they can do all the sevas. Understand? Such person can do miracles. But if you are not so strong, then you take some acceptable foodstuffs like potatoes, groundnuts, some fruits, and do your seva. Very important to do some seva. Do japa tomorrow. Kirtan, japa. Understand? Remember Krishna. But if anyone doesn't do anything and simply fast, that is also okay. Because benefit will certainly come to that person. Sometimes some person is in a jail on Ekadashi day or Mahashivratri day, is not given food in the jail. What will happen? That person will also get benefit because knowingly or unknowingly touch fire, the fire will burn your hand. So knowingly or unknowingly also if you do Ekadashi like that Chandal did, unknowingly stood awake on Shivratri night, he was delivered. Understand? He went to Shiva Loka.
Maharaj, one last question, Maharaj.
All right, Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, why don't you give an extended since Shivratri?
Yes,
everybody keeping awake, you also will be awake, and I also will be awake. Why don't you give an extended class tomorrow?
I will try. Sometimes I also get tired, feel sleepy. But I will try to stay as much as possible. Let's see tomorrow. We'll read some pastimes of Lord Shiva. Other devotees also can read. There is a book of Srila Gurudev called Shiva Tattva. We can discuss from that book. That is a very good book, I think, Shiva Tattva. Shiva's pastimes are also unlimited. As much as Krishna's pastimes, Shiva's pastimes also. There are so many pastimes of Lord Shiva. Actually, one night is not enough. So many pastimes of Lord Shiva, discovering Purana, Mahabharata, Ramayana, because he's the best of the devotees of Krishna. Understand? So in Krishna's pastimes is always there. But we'll certainly, he came to Vrindavan also, right? Lord Shiva. One time, Krishna was crying. Mother gave him everything, toys, milk, everything, but he didn't stop crying. Baby Krishna, a small baby, 6 months or 1 year old. Then some woman told Yashoda that maybe one yogi is there, he is living nearby. Please call him, maybe he knows some mantra, so that the baby will chant that mantra and the baby will stop crying. So Lord Shiva actually wanted to take darshan of baby Krishna. So he came to Gokul and he was living very close to Nanda Bhavan, house of Nanda Maharaj Yashoda. And he was playing the Damru dum 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 like that. Alak Niranjan, Alak Niranjan, Alak Niranjan. So Lord Krishna began to cry even more and more and more. As he was playing the damaru, the small drum in his hand, oh, Krishna was crying so much uncontrollably. Finally, Yashoda's friends suggested to her that maybe you have to call that yogi. Maybe that yogi knows some mantra so the baby will stop crying. So then came that Yashoda called that yogi and said, my baby is crying. She brought Krishna completely covered by black cloth. Then there is one black, there is one particular small called soup. In Hindi they call it soup. Like for example, to separate from grains, they use some container made from the bamboos and the shaft. So she placed Krishna in that container made from bamboo and applied black here on the forehead, on the cheeks, the black dots, so that and completely covered, only his little face was visible. And she brought and showed that yogi. So this is my baby. Just she showed her 1 second and she left. Because Lord Shiva demanded, I want to see Krishna. So Yashoda said that, oh yogi, you are wearing the around your waist the skin of a tiger. Around your neck there are so many snakes. So even I am scared of you. What to speak of my little baby? Understand? But because he is crying, I will bring him. Then Lord Shiva saw the baby, touched him and blessed him, and then Krishna started smiling. He stopped crying. So how much love Krishna has for Lord Shiva. He didn't stop crying until he saw Shiva and Shiva saw him. Understand? So then Yashoda told that yogi, my dear yogi, henceforward you stay only in Brajamandal. Don't go anywhere. And whenever my baby will cry, you should pacify him. Understand? So Lord Shiva saw Krishna also. Understand? And then he developed more desire to see Rasila. So he became Gopishar Mahadev. But today you see that evening time that Shiva is decorated like a gopi with long hair and flower garlands like that. Lord Shiva became gopi, not ordinary personality. Hare Krishna. So tomorrow we'll discuss. Tomorrow 9 o'clock. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatra Vishnu
Thank you, Maharaj. All glories
Maharaj,
to Vishnu
tomorrow you
Daivata
want to
Maharaj.
come in this link or on a Zoom link? Maharaj?
We'll see what link you want more people based on that. Whatever, any link is fine with me. I have both applications on my computer. So let me know tomorrow.
Okay, Maharaj.
What will get more? We should get more audience. Hare Krishna. Dandavat. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Dandavat. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, dear devotees, for joining today. Anup Prabhu, can you please say Jai Diwani? Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Shri Guru Gauranga Gadari